Serious, right? We'll try that again. Ready? How are we going, gang? That's more like it. Whose head is spinning a little bit at the moment with new ideas and concepts? Yeah. Whose brain's a little bit fatigued? Yeah. I think it often gets to that point at this time of the conference and realising that you've still got one day and a bit to go. So I want to get into today's presentation. I've got a fair bit of information that I want to get through, but I just got a couple of questions before we do kick off. Just give me a big show of hands. Who was at my video presentation yesterday? Okay, so only a handful of people. Okay, so quite a lot of new people in the room. All right, that's good. For the people that were at my video session yesterday, I've got a little bit of homework that I'm going to get you to do because there's an introductory portion of my session that you would have seen yesterday. So I'm going to run you through the steps on what you're going to need to do at that point in time. All right, let's get into the session. I want to get into the nuts and bolts of it, and you know it would be fair to say that in the next 1 hour and 15 minutes, I can't teach you everything that you need to know about sales and having a successful sales process. Would that make sense? Yeah. And also at the same time, if I knew about a method, a strategy, a concept that could help you in your business and get more success, would you want to know about it? Cool, that's the answer I was looking for. So what I'll be doing along the way, I'll make some suggestions. I'll make some recommendations. I might tell you to read a book. I might tell you to listen to an audio or do something or do some type of practice that could just take you one step further. Because my concern when you come along to an event like this is that you do get bombarded with huge amounts of information, massive amounts of learning, new insights, new ideas, some things you might have heard before but not implemented. And so the biggest thing I would say, if you could take away something, is to go, what are some small steps that I could do to just implement which could take me a couple of steps further down the road? All right, let's get into it. Now, I want to give you a brief introduction to me, but before I do that, everyone who was in my session yesterday, can you stand up for me, please? You will need an iPhone or something to make a video, so please pick that up as well. Everyone got that bit? If you haven't, that's all right. You can go out with the gang. If you haven't got one with you, you can go out with the gang. All right, all those people make their way to the door, please. And when you get to the door, I'll tell you the next step. No. Everyone else is wondering what the hell's going on here. What I'm going to get you guys to do when you go outside, I want you to team up with somebody so you've got an accountability partner, and I want you to shoot one of those videos we spoke about yesterday as a customer care service to your clients. If you already did the customer care one, as per our agreement we spoke about yesterday, I want you to shoot a Facebook Live one, okay? Sound good? In a couple of minutes, we're going to sing out for you to come back in the room. Were you thinking you have to grab your bag because you're not going to be allowed back in if you don't do it? All right, there you go. Be back in a couple of minutes. These guys heard this first bit, so I thought they don't want to hear that bit again. I'd rather get them working. Why listen to me? Look, I've been in the fitness industry for a very, very long time. So 21 years ago is when I first launched as a personal trainer up in Brisbane. And when I think back to launching 21 years ago as a fitness professional, I really had no clue about business. And so when I got started, you know, back then there weren't many personal trainers around in Brisbane. The going rate for personal training 21 years ago was around about $30 per hour. So I thought, you beauty, if I can get paid $30 to train someone for an hour, I am sorted because I absolutely love this. Now, the reality for me in getting started was that I really struggled to start a business. So I struggled to get clients. I struggled to get my first client. I would discount. I would do whatever I could to try and secure that person. I had no policies or systems in place. I didn't have guarantees or cancellation policies or any type of formal processes in place. And I found myself for a number of years there quite struggling. Clients would come in and they'd enjoy what I did and so forth, and more clients would come, but then others would drop off, and I had no customer care system in place to keep people on board. Any of those comments, does that resonate with anybody in the room, just by a show of hands? Has anyone experienced that before? Can be pretty common in our industry. And that was me for about the first 5 years. And so after about 5 years, I had ultimately gotten myself a bit busier, got clients and built myself up and got myself to the point where I was doing up to about 41-hour sessions in a week. Has anyone done a high volume of training before, a high number of sessions, just by a show of hands? How do you generally feel at the end of one of those weeks? Shattered, knackered, all the rest of it. Anyone mastered the personal trainer's yawn? It's the one you do between your teeth, right? It's about 8:30 at night. You're training your last client, and you feel it coming on, and you sort of, a couple of seconds before it, here it comes, and you sort of smile and you go, you're going, do they see that? They should teach that one in PT school. It's like, yep, here it comes. And so I'd figured out how to do the personal trainer's yawn, but I got myself to a point where I'm now working from sort of 5 a.m. till 9 p.m. So I was scattered and I was all over the place. Early mornings, late nights, all the rest of it. And that's, in my perception, that's what the industry demanded of me. Does anyone have that feeling too, where you just work and sort of feel like you're working pretty much around the clock, and then you have to go and start working on the business and working on other stuff? And got to the point where I pretty much wanted to quit the industry. And my background is an industry that I absolutely love. I knew I was destined to be in this industry because I had an intense love affair and a passion with it. And I got to the point where I'm going 40 sessions a week, $30 a session. I'm getting paid, I'm enjoying what I'm doing, but I'm totally burnt out. And I started to not enjoy it. And if I had a client cancel, I'd almost, be thankful that I had an hour free. Does anyone have that experience? You do that, you're going to start going, where's the love? And I was fortunate enough at that point in time to meet my first coach and my first mentor, who could show me some systems and processes and strategies on how I could do things a little bit differently. And so what I want to share with you today is just a small portion of some of the insights I learned, which was a major turning point for me. What that meant for me was I was able to go on and build a business which became much larger than just simply myself rocking up and exchanging time for money. But I was able to build a business that didn't rely upon me being there all the time. I was able to build that up to having 13 trainers and doing 200 plus hours of personal training every single week. Can I physically do 200 hours of PT a week? It's not possible. 168 hours in the week. So I had to figure out ways that I could possibly leverage myself. And I'm a big fan of the concept of leverage. You can write this down, this statement. Someone taught me many years ago. They said, the key to wealth is to leverage myself through others. The key to wealth is to find ways to leverage yourself through others. Now, what I speak about right now, we're starting to go a little bit above and beyond the concept of just sales, but if I can start to get in your head this concept about how can we do things a little bit differently, which means that you can get exactly what you want. And the fitness industry has been excellent for me. I met my now wife in the gym. Our first date was a workout together. We trained back and delts. She jumped up on the wide grip chin-up bar and did 10 unassisted reps. And I was like, that's my girl. It's pretty much love at first chin up. And we now have 2 beautiful children together, Sophia and Dexter. And HP, she does have a name, it's Adrienne, but she's Hungarian, so I call her the Hungarian princess. So she's simply known as HP. And why do I tell you that? Well, I tell you at the age of 41, I get to live my dream. So what that's meant for me in the fitness industry is I've had the privilege of running 2 successful businesses, first of all in the fitness side of things and helping people, achieve their goals through that side. And now in the business coaching space in teaching business owners how to create the business that they want. And those businesses have afforded me the lifestyle to do the type of things that I love to do. So you get to do things like drive the type of cars I want to drive, live in the type of house I want to live in, take frequent overseas holidays, and do the types of things that I enjoy week in, week out. And all that stuff is excellent because a profitable business enables you to do that. But I've only got to turn around at that screen and go, why am I in business for? Why am I building business? And it's those 3 people up there which are the ones that are my driving force. Go, why am I doing this for? So that affords me to do stuff like pick up my kids from school, drop them off at school, bath them at night, read to them, play with them, do homework and all that sort of stuff, which I value highly. So you find myself probably not your typical CEO punching out the 60 or 70 hour weeks. It's probably, more like the 30-hour week is my goal, which enables me to do all the other stuff. So I guess my first message for everybody, and like I said, a little bit above and beyond sales, is to go, when you walk out of here and walk away from this conference, have a think about Why am I building business for? Why am I learning a new sales method or strategy? Why am I learning more about marketing? Why am I learning a new technique or a new method? And you go, well, what's the driving force? And it could be different for everybody in the room. You want to think about, what does it supply you with? Is it more time that you want? Is it a bigger business that you want? Or is it several businesses that you want? Is it more people that you want to impact? Or is it just simply being able to hang out with the people that you love to hang out with more frequently? And, you know, the other thing for me was getting myself around really great people. So I realised many years ago that I probably didn't want to do it all by myself, and nor did I have the skill sets in every single area. I realised that there's great people out there, talented people out there, who I can bring them together as part of my team and we can make a massive impact. I also realised in the fitness business that by just myself alone, I was only able to impact so many people. And if I started to grow a team, it meant that we could spread that much further and much wider. Along the way over those years, my charge out rate changed quite significantly. So when I first kicked off, like I said, 20 years ago, $30 an hour was the going rate, and I thought, you beauty, if that's what I can get paid as a personal trainer, I'm in. And like you heard before, around about 5 years where I would reflect back and go, pretty much didn't have a clue. I would rock up and train anyone, anywhere, anytime. Was all over the place, no systems, no methods, no strategies. Then I go through a phase, you'll see where that rate, that $30 starts to climb up to $50, and $50 gets up to $70, and $70 gets to $90, and $90 gets to $110. Then you'll see a point in time around about 13 years ago where that $110 climbs its way up to $220 for a single session. And then right on a decade ago in 2006, you'll see a time when that $220 makes its way all the way up to $440 for a single 45-minute personal training session. Now, is anyone sitting there at the moment and going, who the hell pays $400 for personal training? Yeah. And who would like to have some of those clients? Because I guarantee you there are people out there that have the disposable income and are also in enough pain to, you know, to invest heavily into themselves. Now, today's session is not about how to charge $400 a session. I'm sure I could sit down with each and every one of you and figure out a way that we could get more revenue or more income into your business. But, you know, part of it is going, there's going to be a mindset component. And part of this journey, part of my journey, was going, I needed to work on two parts of the business. It was figuring out, number one, I need to put business systems and structure in place. And number two, it was working on myself and overcoming any self-sabotaging roadblocks that I had that could hold me back from having it all. So if you met me 20 years ago and you said to me, hey buddy, one day you're going to charge $400 a session, what do you reckon I would have said? Absolutely no chance. And why would I have said that? No belief in it. Yep, I'd seen no evidence of it. Probably didn't think I was worth it. Probably didn't think my sessions were good enough, and all the rest of it. That whole list could go on and on and on. What that meant for me was that as I was building a business, I was able to start to reduce my hands-on hours. And this slide talks a little bit about the relationship that exists between the fact that I got myself incredibly busy, like many people can do in business. And what that meant for me was that I started to lose my passion and my momentum and so forth. At the same time as I was able to increase my rate, I was able to reduce the actual hands-on hours, the time working in the business where I turned up and exchanged time for money, and I could have more time working on the business. And that meant for me a greater level of profitability, a greater level of income and so forth. So I'm here today representing Create PT Wealth, which is my company that I run with my business partner Jason Ubanowicz, and what we do is we do ongoing business coaching and mentoring. So if anyone wants to speak about that, come and see me at the end of the session. But we also have a number of things that we run, workshops, seminars. We have several resources. You would have picked up a token and hopefully everyone got one. We would like to give each and every one of you a copy of our #1 best-selling book just by being at this session today. So you'll come and visit us down at our stand in the expo, which is F13, and you hand that in and we'll give you a copy of our book, because we want to make sure that, just want to thank you for coming along to this session. And the things that we see as critical, like I said before, business systems are paramount, and of course the other part is the personal development side of it. And well, of course what we say is the accountability. You know, the exact same reason your clients come to you, to have your very own coach and mentor there who can guide you through every single step of the way. Can we invite those people back in now who did their video? So I want to get into, I guess, the nuts and bolts of now speaking about the sales side of today's presentation. I call it how to take the sales out of selling, not feel like a salesperson, be able to convert more people into ongoing and paying clients. And I find sales a very fascinating topic. How we go, gang? Get some done? Did anyone shoot more than one video clip?
We started talking.
Started chatting? All right, I want to play you a clip on a sales method just before we get into the session, and I guess you can have a look at the clip and you can make a decision as to whether or not you might want to use this technique in the future.
Look at the size of that trunk. You could put 3 bodies in there. Just kidding. Just trying to levitate the situation.
Okay, thank you. We appreciate it.
Sure, sure. Hey, what kind of car you drive anyway?
It's a Lexus 430 LS.
That's like a Toyota.
It's a Lexus.
Yeah, Toyota, Lexus, same thing. Japanese, right? Let's not forget Pearl Harbor. Anyway, let's get serious. You want to buy this car, what? Yay or nay?
Well, I don't know. We have to think about it.
Yeah. What's there to think about? I mean, you told me you liked it. You asked me 10,000 questions. I answered every single one of them. You drove it. You love it. What more do you need to know?
You know, it's a lot of money, and we just need the time to consider it.
Consider it? Yeah. Well, why don't you consider this? You've been breaking my balls for about an hour, asking me about every goddamn accessory in this car.
Look,
what about the light? What about this?
You
What
cannot
about
talk
this?
to customers like that.
You're not a customer as far as I'm concerned. You want to buy the car or not?
Not from you. I want to see the manager.
You want to see the manager?
Yeah.
Yeah? I'll show you the manager. Here's the manager. Right here. Here's the manager.
Unbelievable.
Come on. You want to talk to him? What should I do? Throw him out! You hear him? He just said throw him out. He's the boss. What should I get? Tell him to get a Honda! Hey, he just said it. He's the boss.
Who would have liked to have used that method on someone in the past? Like I said, fully up to you if you decide to use it in the future. All right, let's speak a little bit about sales. So I want to open it up now, and the question's over to you. I'd just be curious to know, when I put that word up there on the screen, what thoughts, what feelings, what emotions pop up when you read that word sales? Over to you. Hate it? Yep. Someone up the back was? Cringe, yep. Yep. Pressure. What else?
Feels unnatural.
Unnatural, yep. Rejection, yep. Yeah, sure. And it you know, it can invoke either way. You know, it could be more of a negative or a positive response. So, yep. Cool. Someone else? Solution, yep. Cool. Someone else? Opportunity. Keep going. Who's I'll just be curious then, just by a show of hands, who would say that they're probably a fan of sales, just by a show of hands? Yeah, so maybe half the room. Who's on the flip side, maybe not such a fan of sales? Yeah, and I gather those people, we're almost like a 50-50 split, and I guess if you're not such a fan, you're probably here to go, well, I'd like to find a way that I can explore more about it and begin to understand it more. Sometimes it conjures out that sort of imagery. Would that be fair? Those people that said it's cringeworthy, it's sort of, you know, that stereotypical slimery, slippery looking salesperson. And what can happen is that you can be, you know that you've got a great product and a great service, and I'm under the assumption that everybody here can really help somebody and change their life. However, what can happen is sometimes when it comes to the bit about sales, you can start to feel like that. It's almost like I start to turn into this person, and I don't want to be that, or don't want to come across like that. And if that's the case for you, then what I can do is I can get rid of that word there, and if I was to replace it with that one, or those two words, how does that look? Bit better? Yep, I think I heard someone mention it before, solution. Why does it look better? You tell me. Seems to sort of sit more in the positive. Yep. Why else might it look better? It's more of an outcome.
Positive. Less about, it's less linked to cash as well. So money.
Yep. So the word sales almost conjures up this thing about it's almost like I'm about to relieve someone of money. Yeah, whereas solution providing, hey, I'm here to provide a solution. Now, there's no way in hell I can provide a solution to a problem unless I first do what? We're going to find out what the hell the problem is, and we're going to get into some nuts and bolts around that today. But before we do that, before anyone makes a buying decision with you, we're going to start to speak a little bit about how the subconscious mind works now. And before anyone makes a decision on whether they're going to sign up at your facility, at your gym, your studio, do personal training with you, or whatever it is that you offer, they're going to start to make some, whether they know it or not, there's going to start to be some subconscious thoughts and go on inside their mind. And even before a conversation's had, they'll start making a buying decision on going whether I think I want to do business with this person or this company or organisation. What are some things that they might see that might get their mind thinking, is this the right person for me to do business with? How positive you are, yep. So if they were to watch you in the gym and let's reflect to watching a personal trainer in the gym training a client, what types of things might they see go on which might impact their mind even before they've had a conversation with you? The body language, yep, absolutely. What else? How you interact with your clients, yep. How you interact with other gym members. Do you walk through and high-five people and spot them and know people's names? And be that person on the gym where, to put it in our language, we say you want to be known as the obvious best choice in your gym or your local community, so people know that you are the go-to person. And far too often what I see is the opposite can occur, is that people can sort of lose track of the fact that I've got all these people here, although they might not be a paying client of mine today, on some level they might be making assumptions and judgments based on the fact that if I ever wanted to use this person, is this person going to be a good fit for me, or would I recommend them to somebody else? What else? The way you're dressed. Do you have a corporatised uniform? Even before they've made some type of discussion with you, if they've sent off some type of email, plucked up the courage to send through the email, absolutely crapping themselves, and immediately they get a response from your email address, which is your name at yourbusinessname.com.au, a nice corporatised email. An email signature, everyone knows what an email signature is, with your headshot on there, business name, logo, some type of unique selling proposition, call to action or something which is going to incite them and get them excited about it. And that pops back within about 2 hours, this pops back straight away. What could be the conversation that goes on inside their head at that point in time? Yep, you're interested, you care, you're efficient, what else? You're professional, absolutely, and the list could go on and on. On the flip side, 3 days later, what pops back is this email from funkymonkey69@hotmail.com. Hey dude, sorry I missed you. Are you still looking for a trainer? ? What may be the conversation that goes on inside their mind at that point in time? Quite the opposite. So we want to think about, and so this stuff I'd say is, I call it very fundamental stuff, and I'd say it's easy to do, but also easy to neglect. And so my suggestion for each and every one of you is to make a note and to go through your business and just do a little checklist on every little thing that someone might see before they might even make a buying decision with you. Facebook page, how does it look from the outside looking in? Is everything in working order? Do I have the right phone numbers and right web links and all that sort of stuff on there? Website, how does it look? Is any call to actions that I have? Business cards, it's like tick, 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 tick all the way through. How quickly do I respond to messages? Voicemail. Hi, you've reached Brad at Peak Physique. Sorry I can't attend to your call right now, but I will get back to you at my earliest convenience. As opposed to voice to text would now transmit your message. Who hates voice to text? And if you're trying to run a professional business and someone's plucked up the courage to actually pick up the phone this time and dial the number, is there a chance that that might just put them off, be enough for them not to take action? Yeah, you get the idea? Okay, so the more of that you can do, the better. The next thing we start speaking about the benefits and the proof, okay? And what I say is you want to start hammering down the benefits to people. Benefits down people's throats, okay? So the benefits of the features of what you do are the fact that we've got 10 treadmills, we open at 5 o'clock and shut at 9 p.m, we run 17 classes per week, and so forth. On the flip side, the benefits are we show you how to burn body fat while you sleep. We show you how to lose 5 kilos in less than 4 weeks. We teach you how to increase your strength over this period in time. You get the idea? We show you how to move more free and become injury-free. So the more you can hammer down the benefits down people's throats, people will buy into the benefits. They'll buy into the emotional connection they have with the benefits, and then they'll start to justify on logic. And so the more you can hammer that down, the better. Then, of course, the proof. How do you prove it? You need to have testimonials, and so I would recommend that everybody in this room has as many testimonials as possible that they can collect from their active clients. How do you collect testimonials? Well, I'd recommend that you have video testimonials of clients. I recommend you have written testimonials of clients. I recommend that you have Facebook 5-star reviews of clients. If you go onto our Create PT Wealth Facebook page right now, you'll find roughly 440 five-star Facebook reviews of people that have come along to our events and have recommended it and said it was one of the best things they did. So what we do then is we use that as a tool to show people who are making a buying decision to go, hold on, here's some social proof of people that have actually been there and done it. Who sometimes feels in some way their clients and members could actually sell their business maybe better than you could. Yeah, it can feel a little bit that way. So you need to make sure that you do have testimonials over everything. And also, even one step further, and those of you who will come and grab a copy of our book, we outline this in the book, but even having a testimonials done up in such a way that it follows a marketing format. And what I mean by that is that it has some type of headline. And what's the purpose of a headline? Well, it's got two purposes. The first purpose is to get you to do what? Read it, to get your attention. Then the second purpose of it is to get you to do what? Keep reading. Keep reading the rest. Read the headline and then from there keep reading. So there was a piece of, a bit interesting piece of marketing that I saw a number of years ago, and the headline said, man eats own head. Now, did that get me interested? Okay, how the hell did that thing happen? It turned out he had some condition that the skin was eating away or something, you know, but it was like, that's a headline. That's like, that's what want to get you to keep reading. So, you know, you go specifically, just 24 months have gone from $500 a week to $6,100 a week. You might be curious and go, how the hell did someone do that and how's that possible? So I might keep reading to find out more. Photos are great, and I'd recommend you all have photos in your business for more social proof. Even better in your business than one photo, what should you have? Those of you who do body transformation and weight loss, before and afters, okay? So the more of that you can do, the better. So the protocol that we used to have at Peak Physique was that we would photograph clients right at the very beginning. We take them in for their assessment. We do skin folds, measurements, assessments, posture, range of motion, all that sort of stuff. And then we do the photo, one to the front, one to the side, one to the rear, have them undress in whatever they felt most comfortable in. And then along the way, every 6 to 8 weeks, when we're doing their reassessments, we'd again take photos. And those people who are on their weight loss journey, they could track and measure that. So we'd store them on a hard drive, we'd bring them out, and they'd see the progress. Now, what we were banking up there was not only watching all that progress, but also the fact that for the client that did lose all the weight, lost the 20 kilos or the 30 kilos, what are they generally pretty happy to do once they've lost the weight? Show the original, show the before photos, and again, they become your walking, talking evangelist. So again, what I say is one of those things easy to do, but also easy to neglect and to not have a system like that into the business. So again, it's just some of these little things that I think can make a big impact and a big difference. Next, finally, we get to what it is that you have on offer. Boot camp, personal training session, gym membership, whatever it is, and I call it the product. Now, there's a number of steps that we need to go through before we get to selling this product or whatever it is that we're going to have an exchange of money and service for. But what I see way too often, even in this day and age, is that people will skip steps in this process. It's almost like we go straight for the sale. And I can think of no greater way to describe this than phone rings, and it goes a bit like this: bring. G'day, it's Brad's personal training. And what does the person on the other end of the line generally say? They say, how much? Yeah. How much does it cost? Why do they ask that question? It's the only thing they know to ask. They've got absolutely no idea what else to ask. If I paint that a little bit differently, bring. G'day, it's Brad's personal training, and the person on the other end of the line says, I messed that up actually. bring. G'day, it's Brad's personal training. The other person on the other line says, yeah, mate, just calling up to see if you do single arm inverted pulls, supersetted with jumping lunges on a Tabata timing format. Doesn't happen like that, does it? You've never had that conversation, have you? Does not happen at all. Yeah, just calling up to see if you do kettlebells, sandbags, rope, spin classes and all the rest of it. No. What does the person on the other end of the line generally want? They want the end result. So if we continue that conversation, and I messed that bit up before, but we get to do our role play now. If it goes like this, bring, g'day, it's Brad's personal training, and the person says, and I say, yeah, it's $50 a session, what generally happens then? Thanks, I'll think about it, clunk. Anyone had a conversation like that before? Yeah. Is anyone adding up all the dollars that have now left their business? Potential money that's walked away? And another example of that is someone's plucked up the courage to come and chat to you on the gym floor or whatever. Hey, saw you training that client, interested to find out more, how much does it cost? Oh, it's $50 a session. Oh, okay, cool, I'll think about it. My business partner, Jason, when he first opened his gym in Brisbane many years ago, they built quite a large gym, bodybuilding style gym, and he tells this story even today about the fact they almost went broke from the fact that they had the little typed out DL price list of the membership options. He goes, people would literally walk up the stairs, oh, hey, nervous as hell. How much courage does it take for someone to walk through the door on the first day, walk up the stairs, yeah, oh, how you going, how much does it cost? Oh yeah, here's our prices here. Okay, cool, I'll think about it. He used to watch him walk down the stairs and wave him goodbye. Little did he know that there was a different strategy and a different process behind it. So, if that's happening and there's a version of it, we can sort of laugh about it now, but, if you've had those sort of conversations before and we're speaking about price straight away, at that point in time, what is the only thing that someone's got to make a buying decision? It's price, isn't it? It's the only thing that they've got to make a buying decision. So, at that point in time, if that's what I'm faced with, and again, on websites, I see this a lot, look at it, it'll generally be our recommendation that you wouldn't have prices on websites. Now, I realise that some businesses may have, and I have no problem with that as long as they can test and measure the effectiveness of that. But generally speaking, what can happen is if we've got all our rates and our whole schedule of fees on a website, someone comes to it, and what can happen at that point in time? Make a buying decision based on price alone. And at this point in time, I haven't met anyone, had any conversations or any of that sort of stuff. So I start making decisions on price alone. I do put a little asterisk there, but to say that if you do have some sort of introductory special offer or something just to get the ball rolling, then absolutely market it or advertise it on a website or a Facebook page. However, from our experience, what we've seen is that for people who start to get that stuff off there, they have a higher conversion rate. And again, you'd have to test and measure it for yourself, because people will buy from those that they know, they like and they trust. And part of your process through this whole journey is to get people to know who you are, to like you and to trust you, because people will have a greater chance to do business with you. And actually, I threw that book in there just to remind me to tell you all to make sure to go and get your book down at the expo, but we've already spoken about that, so everyone's very clear on that already. I call it the relationship model of selling. The first 40% is all about that. It's all about building trust. And so the more that you can do of that, the greater success rate you're going to have. So if we play that role play that out a little bit differently. Again, bring. G'day, it's Brad's personal training. The person says, who might I be speaking with? Ben. Oh, Ben, thanks for calling, mate. How'd you find out about us?
Frank told me today.
Okay, so we've been referred. It's always good to be referred. Are you calling up for training for yourself, are you?
Yes.
Yeah, excellent. And are you currently exercising at the moment?
Yes,
Yeah, okay. What does that involve? Are you going to a gym or are you doing some stuff for yourself?
I just do my own thing, bit of running times a week.
Gotcha. Okay, a bit of running. And how frequently per week?
2-3 times a week.
2 or 3 times a week. Okay, and 2-3 times a week, roughly how long might you run for?
5 or 6 Ks.
About 5 or 6 Ks. All right, and you've obviously called us for a reason, so is there any particular goal or something that you're looking to achieve with your training?
I just want to build a bit more muscle.
Build more muscle, yeah. And have you done any type of weights or strength type training before?
A little bit, but nothing serious.
Yeah, okay. So it sounds like that's what we want to be speaking about and find a way that we could integrate that with your current training?
Yeah.
Yeah. And is there any particular upcoming event or goal or something you've got in mind?
Spartan.
Got the Spartan, yep. So you've got an event, we've got a date locked in for that?
Yeah,
November. Okay, so we've got ourselves a good 6 or 7 or 8 months away. So, and in your mind, is there anything in particular way that we could measure it? Will it be, watching an increase in your strength, or will it be about body weight? Is there some way in your mind at the moment you can see that happening?
Yeah, probably like a bit of weight gain and actual physical, seeing muscle growth.
Yeah, so seeing the muscle change. Obviously seeing, I guess, the strength change as well. Possibly some weight gain there, but I guess we want to make sure we're talking about lean muscle as opposed to just gaining weight for the sake of it. Yeah, well, look, that what you're describing there sounds exactly like the type of stuff that we do. And what I'd love to do is to have an opportunity to sit down with you so we can chat in a little bit more detail about your background and, more importantly, how we can get you to that event, having achieved those goals. Does that sound like something you'd be interested in doing?
Sounds good, Brad.
Yeah, you did call up asking about the rates and the fees, and so what I'd love to do when we have that sit-down chat, I'll run you through our various programs and packages, and I can show you which one might be the most suitable choice for you. All right, clunk, end of conversation. Tell me what just happened in that conversation. Okay, so established what he needs, so we started to do some questioning and some work around that. Built some rapport, yep. Built some relationship with that. Yep, what else happened? Yep, so what did he call up asking for? The price. What didn't he get? The price. Why did he call up asking for the price? Because he doesn't know, it's like got no idea what else to ask for. So what can happen is, it could be human nature. Get asked a question, what do you generally want to do? Answer it. And so part of this process, there can also be a little bit of retraining. Now, I don't want to box this in and say that every single time you'll use the exact same method, because in our teaching of our clients on our programs, we do realise that in some instances there are various ways to sell to somebody and to promote what you do over the phone. I won't get into too much of the nuts and bolts, but if we were to engage into some type of conversation and we decided the best way for us to converse was not to meet up, but a different way to do it, there could be a way I could give him a range of prices or some sort of type of ballpark to tell him, look, from what you're telling me, you might sit somewhere between about a $69 a week package and a $99 a week package. Does that somehow suit the budget that you've got in mind? Do you get the idea? Yeah, so there are various ways to do it, but if we stick with the basics. All right, what I want you to do now is just to grab yourself a partner, so do that for me, please. All right, everyone in a partnership? We all good? Yep, everyone good? Now in your partnership, all right, everyone done that? All the A's in the room, show of hands please. Good, and one in every group. All the B's in the room, show of hands please. One in every group, doesn't always happen that way. The B's, you'll be going first. Because you somehow probably magically engineered the other person to be A, didn't you? You think you're pretty clever, don't you, until someone else has been here before you. All right, what I want you to do is I want you just in your little partnership just to go through that little role play script that we speak about. So bring, g'day, it's whatever your facility is. Yeah, just wanted to find out how much does it cost, and then from there I want you to take someone through that conversation. You may already have a system or a process like this that you already use, so I want you to brainstorm it with your partner and just see, hey, is there a way that we could tweak this or make it better? Let's have one go each. Ready, set, go. gang, 30 seconds to go. Ten seconds. Five, four, three, two, one. All right, that's time. That's time. Thank you. Anyone managed to get the appointment booked? Not quite. Are you still going? What can happen if you're used to this, or you got some type of script that you use, you might go, "Yep, this sort of rolls off my tongue quite easily." But if it feels new to you, it can feel clunky at the beginning, and that's very, very common and very normal with any type of scripting. We're a fan on using scripting methods. But I'm not a fan of just trying to stick verbatim to a script, because with every script you need to personalise it and put your personal flavour and your personal touch on it, and also then revisit it and say, what things am I saying that maybe are coming out right or feeling a bit strange. But it can feel clunky at the beginning. The next bit is finding out what they really want, and this is the bit that I really enjoy, because it's where you, I guess, get to put on the detective hat and start figuring out, all right, well, what are someone's problems, fears, concerns, frustrations? There's obviously a reason why someone has taken that first step to contact you or to make some type of interaction with you. We know that people need our help. We know that what we do has a massive impact on them. Who's had someone turn around to them and say, "You've changed my life"? Yeah, it's a pretty amazing and spectacular thing to be a part of, and we know that people can really benefit from what we've got to offer. So what is people's most favourite thing to speak about? Themselves. Give them a chance, and are they going to go for it? Yeah. Who sometimes feels like their role is sort of, 80% psychologist and 20% physical trainer? Yeah. So give them a chance and they'll go for it. And at that point in time, as you're asking the right questions, a combination of nice open-ended, closed questions, and you're directing this conversation, at that point in time, and they're responding, speaking about themselves, who's the one that's really doing the selling? It's them, isn't it? And why is that the case? They're pretty much selling themselves into it. They're the one who's getting convinced. When you've got the right process in place to get people open up and to speak to you about it, it's going to be an obvious choice for them to go, "Yep, it all makes sense to me now." So I say, you've got 2 ears and you've got 1 mouth, so you pretty much want to be asking really good questions and get them to open up. Ask the question and shut up. Then from there, we start to get to the point where we've got to present some type of product, solution, boot camp, or whatever it is that you do. Now, if I was to break this down into a timeline and we were to go, all right, we've had the initial conversation, bring, we've had a brief chat. At that point in time, our protocol was we'd always have close to us a sheet, a new client sheet, and that sheet would prompt us to ask the right questions that we need to ask. So I'd go through and I'd start making notes and so forth, and I'd recommend you have some type of system like that, whether you do that online, handwritten, or whatever it is. And then from there, we've booked a face-to-face meeting. Now, I've always been a fan of face-to-face meetings wherever possible. So if your business relies on you meeting people face-to-face and you have a facility or whatever, wherever possible, I'd suggest have some sort of face-to-face sit-down meeting. This face-to-face sit-down meeting, I generally found that you'd probably need around about half an hour to do a good job. In some instances, you might need a bit more, 45 minutes, maybe up to an hour, depending upon whether you think there's more work involved. But if I was to break this down into half an hour, you can see that the first 20 minutes is all about who? It's all about them, okay? So less about you, more about them. Nobody cares about how much you know, whether you've got more degrees in a thermometer or whatever, until they know about how much you care about them and how much you can help them and solve their problems. What do they want? They want the end goal, they want the end solution. They just want to know that, in many instances, that you're the person that can help me. It's not until that point that I would actually present my solution. You get how this is flowing along here now. Because if I was just to jump now to bring, g'day, how much do you charge? It's $50 a session. What haven't I done at that point in time? Any of this up the top there. Haven't found out absolutely anything about there. But in my opinion, I'd virtually see that as unethical that you would do that in this industry, because at that point in time, I found out nothing about the person. Nothing about what they're looking to do and whether I can actually help them. Who knows that you're not the best trainer for every single person out there, or you can't help every single person? Yeah. And that's sometimes liberating to go, oh, hold on, I know my niche market and the type of people who I'm targeting, and they're the people who we can certainly help. You might have noticed that in my language as well. I asked about what do you want to do? Strength training, yes. What are the goals? Look, I think that goals, if he said to me he wants to gain 10 kilos of muscle in the next week, I might say, well, I think that would be unrealistic and very incredibly almost impossible. And so maybe we're not the type of people that could help you, or maybe I need to get, have a chat about what is realistic, But I found out a bit about it and go, from what you've spoken to me about, that's definitely something we can deliver and we can help you with. So again, back to that thing of promise less and deliver more. So it's where I present the product. Now, again, with your slides today, and those who are in my video presentation, I've actually added more slides. And at the end of today's session, I'm going to show you a way how you can get your hands on the slides. I'm going to be giving you some bonus material today, some stuff I want to show you towards the end of today's session. All right, let's say we've now presented what it is that you're offering, your solution to the problem. We get to the very end of it, and the last 10%, we want to get to the end and we want to close this deal, basically. We want to confirm that this thing's going ahead. What are some things that we can do at that point in time to confirm that this thing is going to go ahead? Yep, all right, so we present the product at that point in time, we ask for the sale, and we've got confirmation that person's gone, yep, this all sounds great, I'd love to get started next week. What are some things you can do at that point in time? Lock it in. Yep, let's get out our diaries and let's make a time now. Great, so it's locked in. What else could we do? Get their details. Yep, details as in? Yep, okay, so I've got all your details correct. Yep. What's your address in case I have to come around there at 4:30 in the morning? Yep. What else? There's one more thing I'm looking for here. Yep. Yep, that's a possibility. They're all... Sign up the form, thank you, that's what I was looking for. Let's get the paperwork out, let's get this thing sorted at that point in time. Now, why would we do that at that point in time, you tell me? Yeah, we're just showing that it's one more sign of commitment down the road, and I'm very big on that. What can happen is that someone can be all there, pumped up, yep, we've had this big, long conversation, people have taken the time out of their busy schedule to go through this whole process, got to the very end of it, looked you in the eyes and said, yep, I'm really keen to do this. Leave there, they go home, and what could happen? Yeah, it's like go home and, hi honey, I'm home. Guess what I did today? What'd you do? Sign up with a personal trainer. Oh, you've got to be kidding me, haven't you? Is that like, all those crappy bits of gym equipment you purchase and have never used? Is that like that diet you start every Monday and you've broken it by every Wednesday? Is that going to be another one of those things? If someone hears that, what could happen? The next thing you're getting the SMS or you're getting the call or whatever it is. So that direct debit form is just one more form of commitment. Now, the way I look at it from my perspective is I'm not holding this thing over someone's head like a legally binding agreement. If someone does pull out, hey, I'll just tear the thing up. It's it's back to that thing and going, some people will, some people won't, and you don't want it to impact your life whether they decide to or not. However, it's just that one sign, because if someone takes the time to fill out that paperwork, there's a pretty good chance, from my experience, that they're going to go ahead with it and make a commitment to it. Because it's like, all right, I've done it now, I've signed the paperwork, this thing's going ahead. So I definitely recommend it. We heavily recommend FFA PaySmart. I assume most people use direct debit. Who does use it, just by a show of hands? Who doesn't use it probably knows they need to. Yep, I'd recommend that everyone has a direct debit system in place. I won't go too much into the nuts and bolts on direct debit because I don't really have the time to get into it today, but quite simply it'll be, in my opinion, one of the best ways to streamline cash flow in your business, and also just make it easy. You're not putting the money in front of your clients every single session or in front of their faces. All right, anyone stuffed up a sale before? What'd you do or didn't do? Talked them out of it? Yeah. What else? Rushed, yep, rushed people through it. What else? Forget to sign them up. Yep. What else? Didn't listen. Yeah, I think we get the idea. We've all probably had some sort of experience like that. So, talking too much, not shutting up and listening. Like I said, 2 ears, 1 mouth. You want to be listening twice as much as you're speaking. Next thing is seeing the prospect with dollar signs on their head. So if I'm rocking up going, I need this sale, is there a chance it might impact my behaviour? Yeah, it's possible. I can turn up and I can change the language and go, I want to work with this person, I want to help this person, I want to change this person's life, but I realise that not everyone's going to be my perfect client. And my response to that is always, some will, some won't, and it's like, so what? It's not going to change my life if someone decides not to. I'd really love to help this person, but I realise that not everyone's going to be my perfect client. Talking logic and features, of course, the opposite of that is people will buy into the emotional side of it and buy into the benefits, okay? You want to get people supercharged in that area because that's when they're in a space to make a buying decision. Go into sales overdrive if someone objects, so they start throwing up some white flags or asking questions and you try and push harder, then there's a chance it might not go that great. Not learn to be relaxed when you need to be. So if you're sitting there all sweaty palms, dry mouth, all the rest of it, not your authentic self, there's a chance it might not come across that great. So that's where I say, that's where you might need some practicing and some scripting in this area. Because if it's like, all right, well, I feel a bit uncomfortable in that process. I feel like that picture of the guy when it gets to the bit where I actually ask for the sale. Maybe I need some practice around how do I do that comfortably, and I rehearse that with people. Fear of loss can make you nervous, so if you feel like you're losing someone's attention, not asking for the sale. I think someone mentioned that before, getting to the very end of it. I've had my very own personal trainers on my team. I've watched them do this in an introductory complimentary session. We wouldn't always use complimentary sessions in a sales process, but we might have used it in maybe about 30% of the time. Most of our clients, we would get them started without the use of an introductory session, but for the 30-odd% of people that we used it on, it was an effective tool. But I've seen trainers clam up at the end of it and get all nervous, and it's like, get to the end of it and they're like, yeah, good sesh, that was awesome, yeah, don't forget to stretch, yep, and drink water, and yeah, and you go, ask. You got every right to ask, and the other person's got every right to say yes or no. Look, that was a great session. I really enjoyed training you. You mentioned the mornings are the best time spot for you, and I do have a spot available on a Tuesday and a Thursday. Is this something you want to get started? It can be just as simple as that. And it's like that thing, you got every right to ask. Not following up, this one's incredibly powerful, okay? And this goes into our marketing but also customer care side of things. You want to build a database, and if you're not building a database of names, emails, phone numbers, you're not storing that people on a database, you're not communicating with those people, in my opinion, there's a lot of money you're leaving on the table there. A lot of potential business. So you want to build a database of people and you want to follow up with people, because if they don't sign up today, when might they sign up? Tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. You want to even build communities. If you're building a Facebook group and you've put your clients into some sort of VIP group, maybe you start yourself another Facebook group of just people who are in your gym or your local community who are actually into what you do. So they might not have signed up with you, but they might again just start to become your best walking, talking evangelist because they've become part of that group. And that list goes on and on. All right, so what's the most important part in the sales process? You tell me. What do you reckon is the most important stage in this journey that I've just been speaking of? That whole first bit, everything that happens, that whole first 70%, it's that rapport, it's the asking questions, it's the finding out and gathering information. And I just see that bit as absolutely paramount. Sometimes people say collecting the money is the most important bit. But in my opinion, I go back to it and I go, look, it's back to that thing and going, the money, in my opinion, will take care of itself when you do the right job and you follow the process, because not everyone's going to be your perfect client. And so I call it a conversation, really. And so what I say is there is really essential information that you do need to uncover about each and every one of your people. And what I say, it's actually your duty and your responsibility to do this. And so I'd rock up to these meetings going, yeah, look, it's part of my professional obligation to find out absolutely as much as I can about this person and decide as to whether I think we can help them and whether we can be the best fit for them. You know that there's a large percentage of people that you can help, but like we said, you're not going to be the perfect fit for absolutely everybody out there. And like I said, failure to do this would see if you've not fulfilled your end of the deal and your end of the bargain. And I really like it. The next bit is setting this type of session up for success. So what we would do is we've had the brief conversation, bring. We've discussed it. We've decided we're going to meet up on Monday morning at 7:30 a.m. What I'd then do is I'd get through some of our preliminary type of documents that we want completed. Exercise screening questionnaire, nutritional analysis, personality profile, whatever documentation you might use to gather around your people so you can start to paint a picture about them. So I've chatted to Ben. We've indicated that we're going to meet up. I'm getting an idea that this guy's interested. He's keen. He's indicated he wants to gain some strength. We're going to meet up. What I say to him is, Ben, I'm going to email you through a number of different documents, and I want you to take the time just to fill those out for me and get them back to me as soon as possible. That'll give me a chance to have a good read through them so I can understand a bit more about your background and, more importantly, how I can get you to the goals that you're after. Ben receives all that information. Number one, he's going, wow, this business is super professional. They're super efficient. They actually want to find out more about me. They care. He fills out the documentation and gets it back to me. What does it tell me about him? He's keen. He's committed. He wants to do something. So I'm now rocking up to this meeting, not going, is this a yes or a no answer? Or rocking up there going, fingers crossed, I'm on the hope plan. I'm rocking up there going, in my opinion, this thing's pretty much 95% done. And what I'm now turning up there to go is, how can I find the best, most suitable program, package, membership, or whatever it is to suit his needs and his goals. And then again, that would be a mindset shift for me, because I'd be rocking up not going, how can I extract as much money out of that person as possible, but more importantly, how everyone's got a budget. So you want to figure out where that budget sits. You want to ask the question, do you have a budget in mind? And when we figure out that bit, it's going, my mindset would always be, how can I give this guy as much as possible to get him the goals to fit in with that budget? So it's almost like this balancing act. And I'll let them know that. Part of my role here is to help you as much as possible. And everyone's got a budget. We're going to figure out, for your budget, how much can we get you and how much can we give you to get you to these goals. Does all that bit make sense? Yeah. So 30-minute conversation, like I said, last big part about them, and then we start to present solutions and start to close the deal. All right, let's just speak about some sales preparation methods. Then I want to show you a way that you can start to display some of your programs and some of your offering and so forth. And this would be some of the stuff that's not in your slides from here onwards. So face-to-face meetings, look, in my opinion, wherever possible, face-to-face meetings are brilliant, but I realise it's not practical for everyone. Because we work with so many different fitness businesses around the country, I'll give you an example of one business that we work with, and they were running a boot camp. And they were running an introductory, come along, do your first boot camp for free or something like that, which was pretty common and pretty normal. It's pretty unlikely you won't see something like that in the fitness industry in this day and age. So what would happen? Okay, well, look, we'd have 20-odd people at the boot camp. This person would rock up at 6 p.m. They get there a couple of minutes before. They're all nervous. Hey, how you going? Put your keys in the bag or whatever people do. And then it's like they do the session, and then and then at the end of the session, or every client wanted a piece of me, and I'd be trying to speak to that person and explain to them, oh yeah, by the way, if you're going to sign up, it costs this much and all the rest of it. Or they'd just leave and I'd have to get on the phone and try and speak to them. It's a bit clunky. Does that bit make sense? Does that resonate with anyone? And has anyone had that experience before? It's like, I'd love to sell that person in, but it's just impractical at the moment. So what this person did, and we just explored. Now, I'm not suggesting this is the perfect solution for everybody in this room. We were just brainstorming I said to this client, what would you be prepared to give away in the first instance to build a relationship with somebody and get them some type of experience with you? And he said, look, I've been thinking about inviting people along for a week of boot camp. And I said, sweet, no problem. But he said, look, because everyone else, and he started doing some market research, he said, there's a lot of people actually doing a week free. He goes, I want to do 2 weeks free. I said, all right, why would we do 2 weeks free? And we went a bit back and forth, and we went, all right, because he said, I want to give people an experience. So they attend several boot camps, and by the end of it, I want to find a way for these people to continue on. So what we did was, part of the marketing was 2 weeks of free boot camp. However, what he did was, the stipulation, and this is the strategy we put in place, was to go, for anyone who starts boot camp, the only way you can start this is to come along and have one of our introductory boot camp sessions. Okay, what it is, it's a one-on-one guided session with a trainer. And so you'll turn up, we need to allocate roughly 45 minutes for it. And the person will turn up there, and what we'll do is we'll run them through some basic fitness assessment and a couple of things, and we'll run through a few mobility tests and check how you are. And we'd speak about all this. It was all well scripted. And then what would happen is we'd start sitting them down and now take out the timetable and explain to them how they can make the best use of the next 2 weeks inside this boot camp. All right, let's get out your calendar. You know, I want to play the role of your coach and your mentor now, and you know, I want to be your contact person over the next 2 weeks. We're going to be SMSing each other every day. We're going to keep in constant contact, okay, about this. All right, they had several boot camps running. Let's see, you attend this one on a Tuesday and then this one on a Thursday and then come to the Saturday morning one and so forth. Then what he did at that point in time was to go, all right, the goal is to try and get these people ongoing on my direct debit boot camp, which is roughly $50 a week for someone to come and do an unlimited class package. So he went, all right, on night one, what I'll do, what we put in place was on that first night, during that first introductory session, was to go, look, we know you're going to absolutely love this boot camp, but we want to make you an introductory night offer. And the offer is, your next 2 weeks of boot camp after your first 2 weeks, I'm going to give that to you at 50% off right here tonight. So what that means is now you're getting a month of boot camp for just $50, where it's normally valued at roughly $200. Is everyone following me here? Yeah, so roughly $200 of value for $50. And all we need to do at this point in time is just get the paperwork started. And at the end of 4 weeks, if for some reason this is not for you, you don't want to continue or whatever, we'll just terminate this. And of course, you would have had 4 weeks of our program, and we'll guarantee at that point in time you'll love it. And we'll also guarantee it that, if at the end of that month you don't absolutely love it, I'll give you every single cent back. And so what happened was we had a massive uptake of conversion rate because of the fact that people were, obviously they're interested on that day, they're pumped, they're ready to go, they've had the personal one-on-one connection, they've locked in the sessions, they've also got the discount of the next 2 weeks. So really he was giving up, he was discounting a large portion introductory, but it meant that people were staying. And because they'd come for 3-4 weeks, they felt like part of it. So it's just one method of many that you can sit down and brainstorm and go, how can we do things differently? And also going, what am I prepared to maybe sacrifice or go without in the short term so that I can build that relationship with people for the long term? That's one way to do it. Face-to-face meetings are great. Next thing is screen sharing and over the phone. We've had a lot of success with this lately. We've got a number of clients using it because I realise for every business it's not always practical to meet with people face-to-face. And so we've had a number of our clients use a screen sharing service. We use one called join.me. It's just very much like being on a webinar. So what would happen is I would speak to Ben. We'd realise that it's impractical for us to meet face-to-face. Ben, what we'll do is we'll arrange a meeting at 10 a.m. next Tuesday. Can you be sitting in front of your computer screen? Yes, I can. No problem at all. Okay, beauty. What I'll do at 10 a.m. is I'll call you on the phone at that point in time. Ben, are you sitting in front of the computer? Yes, I am. Jump onto your browser for me, please, and type in this web address, which you'd read out to them. Join.me / whatever it is. Yep, can you see the login button? Boom, yep, there it is. Can you please type in this code? Here's the code, and all of a sudden I've now shared my screen with Ben. So I'm speaking to him on the phone, but I'm sharing my computer screen with him. And then you'd have a pre-prepared PowerPoint slideshow presentation that you could run people through. The power of that's incredible because if you say something to somebody, there's a chance that they may doubt it, they may not believe it, or they might just not take it all in. However, if you're speaking to them and they can also visualise that at the same time, there's a greater probability that they'll absorb it and be able to see that more. So we've had a lot of success in that department as well. So anyone who's a bit concerned about trying to sell people or not meet people face-to-face, that's a great solution. Over the phone, and I won't go into the details of how to do that today, however, that is one method and we have been receiving success with it. But the other bit is just some type of combined method. Pre-recorded videos are great as well, where you can put together a 3 to 5 minute video outlining what it is that your programs and your packages are all about, without the price at the end, so that you can actually send that link to somebody prior to them coming and meeting with you or having an introductory session or their introductory week or whatever it is. So you've laid all this stuff out. So they're rocking up pretty much with knowledge about what it is that you offer. You've made them a special link, or you've SMS'd it to them, or you've done something which has just taken that step in the right direction. All right, let's get into me showing you a couple of these different examples now. I won't go into too much into the details of this slide, however, just to explain the difference between selling packs and programs. And what I mean by packs is, selling a 10-pack of personal training, which, I'm not a big fan of selling packs, large packs, 10s, 25s, 50s, 100s, whatever it is, because sell a pack, get to the end of it, and what do you have to do? You've got to resell it again. So I think that would, my assumption would be, I would assume most of you would be pretty knowledgeable about this. So, but what I'm a big fan of is programs, you know. So going, all right, we want to bring you into a program which suits your goals and your needs. And what it's all about is having a long-term view about your client's health and well-being. I want to show you some examples of some of our clients who have integrated this sort of stuff in. And I've got 2 different examples of 2 different businesses that they've used. So just try and follow through with me and you'll see which ones pertain to which business. The other bit to this is that at the end of this session, like I said, I'm going to give you a web link where you can sign in, and I'm going to share with each and every one of you what we call our fitness sales system. So what you're about to see, we've documented this and templated it. So I'm actually going to offer each and every one of you as a bonus to have this template absolutely free. So I'll give you the whole thing. I'll give it to you as a PDF so you can see what it looks like when it's finished, and also as a Word document so you can get in there and you can tweak it yourself. Also inside that fitness sales system is a presentation of us explaining how to use this effectively. So here's another one, the train less, eat more, feel great with the Absorb method. So what we start getting into is to the benefits, of course, and I won't read out every bit, but I think you'll get the idea pretty quickly. We start talking about the benefits of what this program entails. Reduces body fat, increases fitness. This bit I really like, you know. It's about taking people through a journey, you know. Over the next 12 months, your body will go through some of the following processes. So, you know, initial 6 to 12 weeks, you'll experience your internal changes. You get the idea. Now, let's have a look at the timeline down here. Here you are now. Here's our 6 to 12 weeks. Here's our 6 months, 9 months, 12 to 18 months. What's this slide really telling you? What's it implanting into your client's mind? Long-term, yep, number one, we want to map out your results, and the fact that in the beginning, hey, you might not experience a lot of change or weight loss or any of that sort of stuff. Who's ever had a client done that? Hey, it's been a week and I haven't lost a kilo yet. And as a matter of fact, I've put on half a kilo. Yeah. But what it's telling them is that, hey, let's map this whole thing out. The other thing is that this thing is a long-term journey, you know. Investing in your health and your fitness and getting results does require a long-term commitment and an ongoing commitment to it. I'm a big fan of you know, offering these type of things. In my opinion, in an industry where I see a lot of no joining fees, no contracts, all that sort of stuff, in some ways it takes people away from a long-term commitment. It's all too easy to get out of it, you know. So I like the idea of saying to people, hey, this is a long-term journey for you. If they do want to get out of it, hey, there's a way to do that, and I'd advise you to have some sort of exit process in place. Maybe it's a 21-day exit process or a 3-month exit process, depending upon what it is that you have in place. All right, you see a similar slide again. Then we start to go through and we start to talk about what it means for you when you're on our program. How do we do it? Number one, exercise alone is not the answer. Interesting. So now we're starting to educate your clients that, you know, it's not just about rocking up and doing 2 or 3 sessions a week or doing 2 classes or whatever it is. There's going to be a bit more that we start to figure out about you. There's a number of things that we're going to take you through. There's going to be the mindset side. There's going to be the motivation. We start with the right product to fit your lifestyle. So we've got various products on offer for you. Next thing is our commitment to you. So we're taking people through this journey and this process. 100% mindset, exercise, nutrition, a few testimonials. I like to put this slide up because that's my business partner, Jason Yubanowicz. So that was him when he was about 154 kilos in that photo. And then he lost all the weight to go in a bodybuilding comp. So that's in my opinion, the before and after shot. If you see him down at the expo, you can say, hey, great photo, buddy. Loved it. Then we get into what do you receive, you know. Well, now we're starting to speak about some of the features of the program, but the reason I like this sort of format is that, would you agree with me that there can be a lot of stuff in your business, in your fitness business, that you give away to people for free that takes you time and effort and energy to do? Yep, so you write programs, you answer phone calls, you get SMSs, Facebook messages and all the rest of it. Who would love to get paid for that stuff? Yeah, and who sometimes feels like, hold on, I've clocked off and now I've got to go and do all this other stuff. And then you sort of justify it, well, it is my business, I have to do all this sort of stuff. This is how we package this stuff up. So we put a value on all this stuff. You go, okay, if I was to write a program for somebody, how long would it take me and how much would it cost and all the rest of it? So we start to package this stuff up right inside of it. Different types of plans. So here's what we get inside this. We get your initial consultation, we get your dietary analysis, you get your tailored program. You get the idea? Things that you may be taking for granted, clients might be taking for granted that you offer out there. All this one single one-on-one personal training session with a level 1 coach, the value attached to that. Detailed body assessments, personalised workout programs, nutritional analysis, body transformation, image collection. You get the idea, it all adds up. So we then get a total value against this program. And this part I find quite interesting, because if you were to sit down and go through this for your own business, you might go, wow, there is a lot of stuff that I do offer and I do have on offer that I can now start to package up. Again, I'll just sort of scroll through these a little bit quicker. Is this all making sense as well? Yeah. And then we go over to, sorry, I'm just moving through this a bit quicker. Once you get your hands on this, you can take the time to read it and go through with it in a bit more detail. Then what we also have is, we also have our small group training as well. So my advice to you, and again, it probably sounds like I'm coming just strictly from speaking about a personal training business perspective, but you can see how this could be applied to gyms, to MMA facilities, to whatever type of business that you run. It's totally transferable, but almost like in this menu of different offering, you have your packages, your programs. Then you might have the person who says, look, that whole package thing you've got with all the dietary stuff and the body assessments, I don't want any of that. I just want to rock up once a week and have a session with a trainer. Yeah, absolutely. Well, on another page, we've got a rate based on that as well. And how well you pre-qualify someone will enable you to either show that to them or not. Now, hold on. What I really want is I want to join the group programs, okay? And how does the group program work, and how do I get the VIP rate and the rest of it? All right, but what I say is you do need to have a proven system. And, from my experience in doing this, if you don't have these systems in place, it can be a bit risky in your business. And so it can also be a bit frustrating as well, because I've spoken to many business owners who are, I guess in some ways, just sort of doing the best they can with the knowledge they've got at that point in time. I was chatting to my business partner before. I've given 2 presentations at Filex this year, one yesterday and one today. And we were chatting on the other night before the first preso, and I'm going, what could we do for just the people that come to my session, just to say thank you very much for coming to this session and investing the time. Number one, we already had first day with the new lips, pre-plans to give you the book. So we want to give that to you as a gift, so make sure you come and see us and get that. But the other thing was, we run a number of workshops and seminars around the country. And in these workshops and seminars, the way I describe it would be to say that it's got absolutely nothing to do with biceps and dumbbells. And it's got everything to do with lead generation, with marketing, with how to grow your business, with how to hire a team and grow that successfully. Plus we focus on the mindset and how to overcome those self-sabotaging roadblocks. So I've got a special offer for you, just for the people yesterday and you people today. Would you be interested in finding out about it? Yeah? You don't have to. We are selling a package down there on the stand, and I'd be happy to receive that full amount of money, but I'm also happy to give you an offer. Sound good? All right. That was loud, wasn't it? I say you've got a couple of options you can take, and option one, I say, look, I want to be in a position where if I'm 80 or 90 years old and I'm training clients or doing whatever I do, I want to do it because I love it, because I'm passionate about it, not do it because I have to, And I'm very big on going, invest in yourself and your business now and develop the key ingredients, which means that you can put these type of systems in place so you can earn more whilst working less, or find a way to engineer what it is that you want in your business. And I'm very big on that part and promoting that part. But sometimes that can be challenging, knowing where to start or how to do it. So, like I said, we run these workshops, and in these workshops we want to show you how you can construct this type of killer sales process. And you've seen one small portion of it. We've got several different ways to sell in what you do. How to market yourself is the obvious best choice. Marketing is going to be a large part of your business, and the more you can invest time in this area, the better. How to get paid more for what you do. How to find ways that we can increase your profitability whilst reducing your expenses. building passive income. The personal development side of it, in my opinion, is just critical and paramount. So if you just simply work on yourself personally, in my opinion, that's one massive step in the right direction. We continue on with the mindset on what it takes literally to build a multi six-figure and seven-figure income, and how to hire people and successfully build that team. And just become better skilled in business, and that's the other large part of it. So, like I said, the 2-day event, it is valued at $597, but we had a chat about that. We said, what could we actually do for everyone who attends that event? And I will happily accept that amount there from everyone in the room, but I'm not going to ask you for it. I want to give you a special offer literally for people who have come to my Filex presentations. And has everyone got a phone there or some way they can log into an internet page? Because I'm going to ask you to do that now. And just type in that bit.ly. It's a bit of a weird looking link, but it's bit.ly/B Filex 16. What do you reckon is a smoking hot deal that I could give you to entice you to come along to that event? 99 bucks? I'll accept that, but I'll make it even better than that.
Free.
Someone say free? Would you like to come for free as my guest?
Yes.
Well, there you go. I've just given it to you. So there's one way to do that. We have limited spots at our events. And as you can see, there's a large number of people in this room. So I'm going to offer everyone, it's a ticket only. Down at the expo, we're selling a combined package where we have 19 CEC points and our resources and things like that for $197. If anyone in this room has just bought that in the last 2 days, come and see me and I'll sort you out. But this is a ticket only to our event. We want to offer it to you only for those who are dead set serious about increasing their business and increasing their profitability. You will need to sign yourself in on that page. Has everyone got that page there? I'll leave that open for you, but I just want to make that available for you. The events run right around the country, so if you're not from Melbourne, you might pick one of the other events. We're in Melbourne, Brisbane, Sydney, but the Melbourne events are up there. The events run on a Thursday and a Friday. The events run from 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. on both days, so if you have to rearrange your schedule, move stuff around, do whatever you can to get there, my advice is that you do that, because it'll be our guarantee that we will absolutely blow you away in those 2 days with the methods and the concepts that you'll learn. If what you've seen resonates with you and you think it could give you some help in your business, then my advice would be to come along. So from my perspective, I'll put these dates back up in a sec, but I have been given the wrap up formally. So from my perspective, I just want to say thank you.